Good afternoon or good morning. Welcome to the Outreach and Community Engagement Subcommittee meeting. Today is Tuesday, July 16th at 11 a.m. and we're going to go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and start off our meeting with welcome introductions and announcements. My name is Nicole Green. Am I able to say I'm the acting chair now? Okay. I am the acting chair for CAB, AB 109 CAB, and I cover East County, and I will now move over to our outreach and community engagement, subcommittee members first. Can you hear me okay? Or are they still on mute?
Right. Once again, my name is Brenda Lee and I represent West County.
Good morning, I'm Marcus DeWall and I represent East County.
Okay, thank you very much. And we will, before I move to our guests in the room, I'd like to first move to staff, and I believe all staff is on Zoom right now.
Good morning. My name is Garyana Youngblood and I'm with the Office of Reentry and Justice.
I think we have Jill Ray.
Yes, Jill Ray with Office Supervisor. Candace Anderson, we got an echo somewhere.
I was gonna say the same thing. Is it gone now?
Yes.
Okay, I think we're good. Okay, thanks, Jill. And we're going to now move to any guest in the room. I believe we have one guest in the room now.
Yes, my name is Walanda Loud Family.
Yeah, we have an echo. I think Garyana's going to try to come and fix that. Brenda, can you say something again so I can see if the echo's still there?
Morning, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And thank you, Walanda. Yes. Welcome.
Good morning, Walanda Loud Family.
Welcome, welcome. And we will now move to our guest on Zoom.
Mariah Bruce, Contra Costa College.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Shanta Owens. I'm from Genesis Church.
Welcome. And I think I've seen a Mr. Owens somewhere. Would you like to welcome yourself, sir? Hello. And I think we have a few other guests on here as well. If they would like to introduce themselves, I don't want to force anybody. If not, we can move on. But I wanted to allow everyone a second to introduce who they are.
Good morning. My name is Sharonda Weed.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Good morning. My name is Sharonda Weed. I'm with the Contra Costa County Public Defender's Office.
Welcome.
My name is Ariel Shelton. I'm with Genesis Church. I'm the director of the outreach facility there.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is David Owens, Senior Pastor at Genesis Church. Thank you so much for having me.
My name is Mark King. I am a member of Genesis Church.
Welcome.
My name is Tori Spikener. I am a member of Genesis Church, and I am one of the children's church teachers.
Awesome. Come on, Genesis Church in the room today. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. My name is Markeisha Lewis. I'm a mental health clinical specialist for detention in Contra Costa County. Hey, Marcus, retired Alameda County.
Welcome, Ms. Lewis. Do we have anyone else? Okay.
Hi, I'm Athena White, and I'm with Genesis Church.
Good morning. I think we covered everyone. I'll give it a couple of seconds to see if there's anybody else before I move along. Okay. All right. So I think, I'm not missing any hands, am I, Garyana? I don't think so.
No.
Okay. So we will go ahead and move right along with our agenda. We're going to move to agenda item number 3, which is the approval of the minutes from our Tuesday, May 21st and Tuesday, June 18th OCEC meeting. If we can please pull up the agenda attachment number 1, pages 4 through 10. And you know what? I apologize. Y'all just let me skip all past that. I'm supposed to go to announcements. I'm way ahead of the game. I'm so sorry. After introductions, it was announcements. So I would like to open it up for any committee members in the room, or if there are any announcements you would like to give. I was ready to go, y'all, today.
Is that open to the public as well?
Not yet, but I just wanted for the committee members first to see if there's any. Hearing
Well, I
none.
don't have anything.
Okay. Brenda?
None, I'm sorry.
Okay.
No.
Hearing none. I have one announcement, and we could talk about a little bit later on in the agenda regarding the RSC Welcome Home event. That's the last Friday. Brenda, I believe I talked to you about it already, but I did want to have that discussion here, so I'll hold on to that later on. But we're going to be tabling at their event the last Friday of the month. And so I will open up for announcements from anyone to the public on Zoom. Mariah, I think you had an announcement.
I did. I just wanted to share with this entire group. I mentioned it the last meeting, but Contra Costa College is hosting a basic convening on October 17th. The basic is the Bay Area Systems Impacted Consortium. That's a collaborative effort to support student success and capacity to support systems impacted students both inside and outside of facilities. So just want you to save the date because we definitely want our community to be there to represent strongly. And then also any ideas that anyone has regarding potential workshops that could be added value, that would be wonderful. And any organizations that might want to have information on the tabling that will be available so that we can share resources with the practitioners that will be there and some of the students that will also be there as well that are systems impacted. All of that would be wonderful in our preparation for October 17th.
Awesome.
Mariah, if you have a flyer for your event, we can help circulate that flyer to help spread the word.
Yes, we're working on that. We'll have a save the date probably within the next couple of weeks that I'll make sure to get to you. And I'll pop my email. Where can I put my email? I'll pop my email into, I guess, notes maybe. Okay. I'll probably send an email after or something.
Okay.
Just to make sure that whoever has the workshop ideas that might be added value, we can make sure that the whole event is added value for all of the practitioners.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Are there any other announcements? Okay, seeing none. I do want to piggyback before we move on our conversation at the last meeting, Mark and Brenda, in reference to the chair position. As we discussed at our last meeting, Reverend Van Hook stepped down and wanted to talk to you two about if you were interested in either stepping into that role or stepping into that role as interim until we get more board members on there, and wanted to see if you guys had any opportunity to think about that since our last meeting and willing to either step into the position or hold the position until someone actually comes on the board and wants to be chair. I was gonna say, go ahead.
I did think about it, and to be honest, I'm trying to get caught up to speed. I think this is my second month or going in my second month of being on the cab. Certainly, interested in supporting everybody and supporting this committee, but I have not, I did not think it was something that I wanted to do, at this point. I certainly can fill in until somebody's named that's necessary.
Okay. And Brenda, how about you?
I'm your recorder, and as I said before, I'm spread so thin, I can't take on another chairmanship of anything right now.
And I mean, and no problem at all. And I appreciate both of your honesty. I mean, that's the role that I'm stepping into as well. So, Mark, I do appreciate you willing to step in as an intern. If you are comfortable with that, I will definitely be here to support you in any kind of way. If you do not feel comfortable with that, I will be here to support both you guys in any type of way, and I can definitely run your calls and do what's needed until we find someone. So either way is fine. I don't want to pressure anyone, but I did want to, throw that out there and double check with you all and kind of follow up on engage the feeling. And sorry that I'm not in the room. I can only do it from Zoom on these days. But however that support. So do you feel comfortable? I'm not pressuring. If it's a no, that is perfectly fine. But do you feel comfortable as intern with my support, or would you both prefer for me to continue and support until someone follows in that role? Either way is fine.
Nicole, I know that you're having to, well, it sounds like you're having to jump in with the cab overall, so I'd be willing to step in, on an interim basis until, somebody permanent is put in place.
Say that again, I'm sorry. The last part.
I will do it on an interim basis until
okay.
Somebody's able to do it on a permanent
Thank
basis.
you.
Sure.
I appreciate that. And again, you're not by yourself. I'll follow up with you again after this call, and I'll be that additional support that you need. And if there's any questions you have, I am willing to help you in every kind of way that is needed to. So I appreciate you stepping up and to be the intern. And Brenda is awesome in reference to being that secretary. So very good team.
All right, thank you. And I know that I owe you a return phone call. I did not want to bother you over the weekend, so we can touch base.
It's okay. We're patient. I took that day off, so I have a reminder to follow up with you if I didn't hear back. Okay, well, cool. Garyana, make that note. So Mark is going to step in as the interim until we have. So I'm very excited, and thank you both. Okay, so moving on to the next business item on the agenda, which is for public comment on any item under jurisdiction of the Community Advisory Board and not on the agenda. And I see none in the room, and I don't think I see any hands on Zoom. All right. So now we're going to move to the right one, to the third item on the agenda, which is the approval of minutes from the Tuesday, May 21st and Tuesday, June 18th CAB subcommittee meeting, which is attachment 1, page 4. It's up on the screen, so I'll give us a few minutes to kind of look that over, and I'll be looking for an approval, and then I'll be looking for a motion. A motion to approve in a second.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
For the May meeting, remember there was only Ozzy and myself?
Correct.
So how would we move that? Is there any way to move that?
You can still, even if you weren't present for the meeting, each member had the opportunity to review the meeting notes. So you can still motion to approve the meeting minutes if you were not present, because you had the opportunity to review the meeting minutes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
I will add, just for maybe to help ease the comfort on that, they're just records of action. So you're not confirming that somebody said something or didn't say something. It's just a record of action of what happened in the meeting. So
I move that we approve the minutes for the May 21st, 2024. And I think it's June 18th. Yeah.
Yep.
June 18th.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have Brenda as a first to approve and Mark as a second. Garyana, can you take a vote?
Yeah. Brenda?
Yes.
Marcus?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Awesome. Okay. So moving on to agenda item number 4, which is discuss CAP application for the new membership to be considered for approval by full body. That is attachment number 2, page 11 through 15. So I'm not sure if everyone had an opportunity to look it over. I did, and draw down some questions. And Brenda, I'll follow your lead on this. This never really went through the whole process with you guys here at OCEC. In reference to, is there certain questions that you all use to go through this, or just kind of review and talk about the application?
Well, is Philip, is it Cardenas? Is he on? Because he's one of our applicants. I was just wondering, is he on Zoom? No?
No.
Okay, then
I
we'll
don't
move
see
on.
him.
Okay, then let's move on to Yolanda Hughes. And if possible, I'd like for her to make a short introduction of herself, and then we'll go from there. Okay? All right.
My name is Yolanda Hughes. I currently work for Lau Family. I'm interested in CAB. I've been coming to a couple of CAB meetings in the past, and I kind of see how they're ran. I see that there can use some help, and I would like to be of help. I'd like to be assistance. It piqued my interest because I like how it's ran. When I did see it a full body and what they like to do in this CAB board, such as the helping the reentry population, whether that mean employment services, housing services, behavioral mental health services, and post and release services. I've been working with the reentry service for about 5 years now overall, and it's something that I'm very interested in.
Board
You
members.
said you work at Lau?
Yes, I work
Give
at
us
Lau.
Yeah, give us a little spiel on what do you do there?
Okay, so at Lau Family Community Development, I'm the program supervisor for the AB 109 reentry program. We currently assist with housing, transitional housing to permanent housing. We house currently priority is AB 109, and after that we go down the tier. Tier would be felony probation. I work closely with GPS through the adult education, Contra Costa, going to the jails and going to the jails and represent Lau Family to tell them about our program. So when they're upon release, they know about our program and what we do and what population we serve. So when they come out, they have a place to go. We help with supportive housing for up to 6 months and pay for permanent housing after those 6 months. Within that 6 months time, we're doing extensive case management, cognitive behavior, life skills, employment services, and financial workshops through that program. And we also support IBA services, which is individual development accounts. So they can save up some money, and Lau Family matches that up to $1,000. I facilitate workshops and assist them completing the housing applications, going over credit checks and bank account services.
Very extensive. Marcus, you have questions?
Yeah, I think that you did a good job of covering your current role, and I'm very familiar with Lau. What other, if you have worked with any other community-based organizations, what other organizations have you worked with?
In the past, I've worked with BACS, Bay Area Community Services. I've also worked with Telecare. Telecare had a development program. I worked there out of Vacaville. And I've also worked at San Quentin State Prison.
Thank you.
Oh, state prison. Nicole, did you have any questions?
No, I piggyback off of Mark. I'm really impressed with the way that you fill out your applications. And thank you for adding that piece in reference to BACS and San Quentin. and I'm very familiar with Laos, and really excited to have your expertise or submitting your application and bringing these different expertise to CAB. It'd be nice to hear about different services that we may not be aware of in different counties and how, like, San Quentin and other things are done, or other recommendations. So I didn't have any particular questions for you, but I do appreciate you submitting your application.
One more. Okay, so what motivates you to serve? I know
What
you talk about
motivates me
service.
to serve is my experience, my strength, and my hope. So I have previous experience with incarceration myself. I have previous experience, as you saw in the application, with domestic violence. I've been involved in that experience and I went through that and came out. And basically, when I started, when I overcame those experience that I have, I used it to something positive, and that's why I'm here today. And I would like to help others that can do the same and look at me as, okay, if she can do it, maybe I can do it also. We're familiar now with the peer-to-peer support. That's kind of same thing. I've served some time. I did what I had to do. I went to college. I got my degree. I still volunteer in the community of recovery, and I give back. So I thought I could use my expertise, my strength, and hope here once I started familiarizing myself with the CAB meetings that I came to frequently.
So you have come to our meetings before, okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So here's a good one. What are your strengths working in a group setting?
My strength would be my life skills I have that if you've had a situation that you've been in, I could definitely support that situation. I think the reentry population covers those strengths. We deal with violence. People I in the role of the reentry population, I see the behavioral mental health need that can be used. I see that employment services are often denied. I see that life skills are often needed to support people.
Yes.
I see that employment workshops are often needed to help people, but you also have to want it. So using that cognitive behavior, I can use that to service.
Okay. You have any other questions, Marcus?
No, I don't.
Okay. I'm done with my questions.
And I don't have any additional questions at all. So I'm assuming from after we have our discussion and after our questions, this is something that we can then move on to full CAB for review and questions at the next meeting.
Okay.
That's usually the next step, right, Gariana?
Yeah, this is a voting item. So I
Okay,
would need a
okay.
motion in a second.
Okay, so voting item. So we will vote to move forward with only one other's application because the gentleman is not here to move forward with bringing her to full CAB for a review and approval to move on forward to CCP. So I'm looking for an approval and then a second.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hughes, for the application. Certainly, I think we appreciate that you put your name in for consideration. So with that, I would like to make a motion to move forward with the application submitted by Walanda Hughes to be a part of the Community Advisory Board.
I'll second.
And go, Gariana. We can have a
Yeah, I have a motion. I have a second. Brenda,
Yes.
Marcus,
Yes.
motion carries.
awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for coming in person.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so we will go ahead and move on to our next agenda item, which is a presentation from the Genesis Church, which will be attachment 3, pages 16 through 25. And we have a few individuals here. So I'm assuming, Chantel, you're going to be presenting today?
Yes, I will be.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and turn it over to you to start your presentation.
Good morning. I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to come on. I do not take it lightly. And I want to say before I begin that Yolanda has been an excellent connection to help us as we launched our housing for individuals who have been justice impacted in Pittsburgh. Great resource and a wonderful addition, I think, to your committee. So I just want to give her a shout out. She is excellent. She is excellent. Just really quickly, I wrote down some notes because I want to make sure I don't get caught up in it, because when it's your vision, you get really excited about it. But I wanted to share with everyone a snapshot of what Genesis Church is. First of all, I want to say that Genesis is so much more than a church. But it is a place where our community and our residents can come and access resources and assistance 7 days a week. For the last 10 years, we have served and established wonderful relationships with local agencies to support the efforts, and as well as national partners. You can go to the next slide. Here we go. Thank you. In order to serve the community, we believe that you have to understand the heartbeat of its residents. And so we have discovered that it is only this is only accomplished through intentional engagement, through relationships and collaborative efforts. We have identified the priorities and hotspots of the city, which I'm going to share with you on today. We know that every community has different areas in it, but if you go into the community not understanding what the hotspots and priorities are, many times your services are not needed, or where your services are needed, you're unaware. By operating in the different areas that I'll share with you today, which were the highest priorities that we discovered, we've learned that in those areas we have not only found success, but we have found favorable outcomes. Go to the next slide. The first hotspot that we tapped into is our food insecurity. Our outreach team, I want to say, is absolutely phenomenal. I want to give them a great shout out. They have been serving tirelessly for the last 10 years through our efforts and our relationship with Contra Costa Food Bank and 8 local grocery stores. We've been able to recover and consistently provide fresh groceries to our residents and those that are unhoused within our community. Currently, we have served in this last month, we had 3,600 individuals that were actually able to receive fresh groceries and produce. As we know, prices are expensive. And so we pride ourselves in being able to assist families who go to work every single day and just need a little extra assistance to make ends meet. Those families know that they can depend on Genesis every Saturday. We do a drive-through grocery share where they're able to pop their trunk, and we give them anywhere between $200 to $300 worth of groceries. We believe that hunger is not an issue of charity, but it is an issue of justice. And the purpose of our grocery share program is to support families in the community by providing fresh groceries weekly, which are proteins, fruits, vegetables, dairy, eggs, bread, desserts, and a lot of extras. We also provide them with household items, as well as give them an opportunity to sign up for classes on budgeting and financial literacy. We pride ourselves on not just giving people fish, but teaching them how to fish so they can eat every day. Next slide, please. Thank you. In partnership with our World Impact, we have an established reentry program. And we have a program called the Onesimus Project. And through this reentry program, we provide and support coaching and transitional housing to justice impacted and formerly incarcerated citizens, and provide training and resources to local churches and nonprofit organizations to help welcome formerly incarcerated individuals and their families back to the community and back to our church. Through this relationship, we have been able to successfully transition returning citizens and train other faith-based and local agencies with the same vision. We also collaborate with other partners to facilitate successful outcomes in this area. One of the extensions that we are getting, that we are preparing for it and have identified is housing in this area. We recently just identified another home that will be used to facilitate additional reentry housing programs. So we no longer have to just hand off everyone for the housing. We will now have the opportunity to house those individuals and welcome them back into our community, where we will also provide wraparound services. Through the Onesimus Project, we're training people and handing them off, but many times in the handoff, you lose contact. This way we can be part of their success story and walk them through where they need us the most. Next slide, please. This is Hope House. We believe in asset-based community development. We always want to be an asset in any area that we put our hand to. Hope House is our newest baby, and we are focusing on aged-out foster youth in need of housing and love. We are serving the unhoused, which is Tay, with wraparound services. Two of our newest residents, where their job had found out they were homeless, had reduced their hours to 0. We can successfully say that we celebrated on yesterday. They are now both, one of them just received 40 hours for the first time in 3 weeks, where the other one, other resident, received 30 hours for the first time in 3 weeks. In addition to that, they both submitted 4 different resumes to obtain additional employment to make sure that they are able to always hit 40 hours a week. In addition to that, we also are working with them to enroll them back in school. We are super excited. Our third resident, new resident, also has now been given a counselor to walk him through, because he decides to go into Job Corps. So we're working with him on that. We're excited about that. We believe that people should have the opportunity to go from surviving to thriving and have equal access to power, resources, and opportunity. Our commitment to justice for the community, using resources and assets to add value to our neighbors who are most harmed. You can go to the next slide. Again, looking at the heartbeat of our community, which was on our slide number 2, we found that our youth were in need. Many times we overlook the youth. We talk about a community that has been just as impacted and struggling. However, many times the kids are never touched. We launched a program called Think Big that has been endorsed and funded. Our first grant in 10 years, we've been self-funded up until this point through behavioral health with Contra Costa County. And we are excited about our new relationships with the county. We have an after-school leadership and mentorship program where these youth receive tutoring and mentorship for kids ages 11 through 17. These are at-risk and justice-impacted youth. They receive academic coaching, college prep, trade skills, emotional, spiritual, and behavioral support. In addition, they are also taught how to build strong working relationships with their school, their trade partners, and I want to add to that, with their families, because many times there is a communication gap. So we're teaching them and mentoring them to have healthy relationships, because we believe that we help them through their trauma, through their triggers, they can then operate with healthy relationships and learn how to communicate in a way where they can become an asset to their schools, their homes, and their communities as well. Next slide. In working with our youth, we found out that nearly 1 in 5 adults said their mental health is worse than this time last year. Many people who had never experienced mental health issues in the past all experienced mental health issues during COVID. There has definitely been a switch up, and so we have put some things in place to be able to help mentor people and help people heal. Next slide. Understanding with our youth through our Think Big program, again, have been able to open up. And 95% of the youth have said they all had thoughts of suicide and thought that their families would do better without them. With that, we are really focusing on trauma healing with our youth and giving them an opportunity to heal, so then that way those around them can be healed. I'm teaching them how to deal with their peers. I'm teaching them how to deal with their teachers, teaching them how to deal with those in the community as well. our trauma healing and mental health component is actually one of the strongest arms that Genesis has, besides our grocery outreach program. We believe we take trauma healing and mental health support to the streets by creating safe and sacred spaces for people to heal through online cohorts and in person at our Genesis Family Life Center, and also via Zoom. We use an evidence-based and successful holistic approach to bring together mental health practices and spiritual peer-to-peer support. We have partners that we partner with this World Impact, as well as and through that collaboration, we are able to bring resources to the community as well as those within our congregation. Because of our passion for mental health, many of our members are either social workers, mental health clinicians, providers, counselors, those who are missional hearted and have a heart to see people healed. Next slide. We believe that we're better together. I wanted to share the resources that we have so we can collaborate with the county on the needs that have been shared, so that you know that Genesis is not just a place where people come and receive food, and it's not just a place for housing. We believe that through our collaboration and partnerships that we are stronger together. We do not try to do this on our own. Well, we believe that if we foster healthy relationships within our community with people who are like-minded and have the same intentions and goals to see our community thrive and not just survive, that if we come together and bring our resources to the table, that the goals and the things that we talk about will be able to walk out. Thank you so much for an opportunity to share with you. And if you have any questions, I might have some answers. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that robust presentation, and I'm excited about all of the services that you all have and what you're doing in the community. I was unaware of all of this that you provide for the community, and I do want to open it up for the board members, because this is the outreach and committee board. I want them to be able to. I'm gonna pass it to you guys to have your discussion and your questions around the PowerPoint and pass the baton. But I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm really excited about, working with you all, hopefully, and what the things that you do within the community and what you bring, especially to this board. So.
No, thank you so much. I'm super excited as well. And I'm going to thank you so much, Nicole, for your support, for your partnership, for your mentorship through this process. And I just look forward to having the opportunity to do so much more and have many more stories of successful outcomes.
Yes.
Yes.
I wish we had a picture of the ribbon cutting and the youth that
I
was there
know.
to
I
share
wanted. I
with
was like, I
Brenda
thought
and
that was
Mark.
through the
Yes.
slide. I was like, oh my God. I didn't have that on there. Yes, it was absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. And we do still have 4 more beds. We have 4 more beds in that home. Getting a lot of calls. But just, yeah, we're trying to make sure that we help as many people as possible.
And Brenda and Mark, I thought it was thought it would be a good idea to bring Genesis Church here to have this presentation for you all to have a discussion, because I know that you guys are doing outreach, and one of the key things is faith-based. And this is one of the main faith-based organizations that faith-based that I was able to find that have actually been doing, I know there's more, but actually has been open in different spaces about the work that they're doing. I've seen Chantel at different places, different tables, different conversations. And I know that's one of the things that you all were working on. So, so far we found one that was willing, that's already in the space, that was willing to go, yes, I'm ready to dive in. So I wanted to be able to bring that to you all to kind of ask whatever questions you would like as you work more into, expanding that. So I'm gonna be quiet because I'll just talk all day and allow you two to kind of have your conversation. So I'm going to mute and pass the baton to you two.
Thank you, Nicole, and Chantel, thank you for the presentation. I do have a few questions on the slide when you talked about the training and the resources that are provided to local churches and nonprofits. I'm curious if Genesis Church is part of a bigger group that gets together on a regular basis, specifically the faith-based organizations. And the reason why, to follow up on what Nicole shared, is that one thing that we would endeavor to do is to get and have more interaction with the faith-based community and faith-based providers. And so if you can just talk about that a little bit. If it's just because of, how your church is so embedded in the community, or in addition to that, if there's a regular meeting or time where the faith-based organizations get together.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Genesis is actually part of an organization called Converge, and they are a nationwide organization and comprised of 1,500 different churches and faith leaders. And what we do is we help to plant and strengthen churches, whether they are brand new or whether they are embedded in their individual communities. And so we do have a network. A lot of the churches in this area are part of that. We've been able to onboard them. One of the churches that are one of the oldest organizations, part of Converge, is Golden Hills. Golden Hills Community Church. A lot of people are aware of them. We actually, the church that we just recently purchased 3 years ago, where we are now at currently, was Golden Hills First Church. There was the Antioch Church. And so we purchased that building. In addition to that, we have many other faith-based organizations that in Antioch and Pittsburgh that are part of Converge, as well as in Richmond and Alameda County. And so absolutely, we do meet on a regular basis. My husband actually sits as the on the board of he is the, oh my gosh, I'm going to get it wrong. He is the chairman of the board of Converge, PAC West, and our individual area is located, our headquarters are actually in Tracy. And so he covers this entire area with those faith-based leaders, and we meet on a monthly basis. In addition to that, we are also part of World Impact. World Impact is where we're able to tap into. They are also worldwide, and we are actually able to support that's where our mental health component comes from, and our trauma healing. And we support other faith-based leaders as well as missionaries. And we do meet with them. My husband's also the district supervisor for World Impact for this area. We have, I think he has like 90 to 100 faith-based leaders under that umbrella that he works with as well to do the same thing, strengthen our communities and work with families and individuals. They meet, I believe, twice a month and more frequently on Zoom. And so, yes, we do have access to other faith leaders. We do come together. We are one component of a much larger aspect. So we're not a lone ranger out there by ourselves. We are part of two very large organizations.
Great, thank you. I think that there's going to be some follow-up that we would like to do, to help us, get our information out as far as what the Community Advisory Board does, and get the input from the faith-based organizations and churches and leaders in Contra Costa County, because I think that we all know that a big part of the population that we're providing, feedback to the Community Corrections Partnership about, the church is interacting with the people and their families. And so the impetus on us is to make sure that we're doing our part to try to reach out and make that connection.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Honey, did you want to, I'm sorry, Pastor Damon, did you want to tap into that real quick? I just want to make sure.
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for having me, and to my wife, great presentation. So one thing about those who are just as impacted through World Impact and through the Onesimus initiative and the Onesimus project, we come alongside nonprofit organizations and particularly churches who have a heart for that particular work. The goal, though, is that once someone is released from whatever facility they were in, the goal is reconciliation. So not only has that person been injustice impacted, but the mother, the father, the grandparents, the children, and everyone that's connected to that particular person needs restoration, and they need healing too. The question is how, once they come to our nonprofit organization, i.e. our churches, are we equipped, number one, with empathy? Are we equipped with love? And do we understand what they've experienced so that we can not treat them as other people, but create a sense of belonging for that church and for that, well, not for that, for that family, and also for that particular individual. So yeah, so we host these workshops. We have a Siafu home or a transitional house there in West Oakland. We have guys who they've done 25 plus years, and I'm proud to say that one of them just got his real estate license, and he's got his first listing. So it works if you have the patience and you have a heart for people who are most harmed. So yes, we're here to help. Thank you.
I just have, well, I have two other questions. Can either of you talk to us and explain to us any partnerships that you currently have, whether informally or formally, with any of the county agencies here in Contra Costa County?
So currently I am working with, okay. You want to do it, honey?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Currently, I am working, as I shared with you, as with Lau, I'm working with BACS. I was the outreach coordinator for Love Never Fails for 2 years. We work with STAND, we work with Shelter Inc., work with Pillars of Hope, Antioch Community Foundation, and now with Contra Costa Behavioral Health. And so those are just some of the local community partners that we work with. And we are definitely looking to partner with more. For a long time, we were doing the work, and sometimes when you're in the middle of the work and you're building, it can feel like you're doing it all alone. So we were part of Converge and World Impact. And then we were afforded the opportunity it started getting so large and robust. We were afforded the opportunity to kind of come up for air and go, there's people around us that want to do the same work that we're doing. And we started finding and seeking out intentionally those like-minded individuals to see where they needed help and where we could be a benefit to them and how they could be a benefit to us. And when we did that, we found we did a workshop at our own church where other organizations were able to come and partner with us. Honey, you want to tag on to that?
Yeah, so we've hosted these workshops in different parts of the Bay Area. So there's 7 million people between San Jose and Sacramento, and there's a whole lot of work to be done. Partnership is so important. I think my tagline for myself about 2 years ago has been the buzzword that I call it a buzzword, interdependence. One thing that we don't want to do is, the reason why we don't see the kind of sustainable change that we really need within our churches, our homes, and our communities is because there's a lot of redundancy, right? So how can we eliminate the redundancy? And how do we equip those who are on the front line, those justice workers, those people who have a prophetic voice to speak truth to power, number one. Two, those who can also speak life to those who need it. They need to be trained. And oftentimes, those people who are most harmed, who are on the front lines, they've also experienced trauma too. And usually they express their pain in their work, which is why they give so much. But at the same time, they also need help. They also need the support. Caregivers also need self-care. So we want to come alongside those people as well. So we have these workshops and these trainings that we do. Sometimes they're online, but most of them are in person, particularly in the Oakland, San Francisco, Bay Area. That part of the Bay Area. We're just now garnering support here locally in Contra Costa County and also Solano County. So stay tuned.
And I did also forget to say, and also our public defender's office. Public defender's office is also one of our partners as well.
Thank you. So the last, this isn't really it is a question, but I'm curious to the point that you just made as far as stay tuned for the work that's going to be done here in Contra Costa County. Have you identified any gaps or needs that you feel need to be addressed or overcome specifically here in Contra Costa County to move forward that you've been able to do in the other counties that you mentioned?
Wow, that's a loaded question. Go ahead,
Yes,
honey.
it is. Okay. I think the part, yeah, you see, we're a tag team. I think that I think that the housing component is so important because in working with Contra Costa County and engaging, I continue to hear the housing for the reentry programs and the housing not being made available, which is why we actually purchased a house to be able to begin that work in Contra Costa County and started as the Hope House #1. I think that within our community, we're a lot of people in Alameda County have now migrated to the East County, and the East County has been ill-equipped to deal with the trauma that has come from Alameda County, San Francisco County. And I think that that is really a weak area within Contra Costa County. The thing is that we sat in a meeting last week, and I'm trying to find a great way to say this. Last week, and we sat down with some stakeholders from the Antioch area, and many of them they were trying to talk in circles about cleaning up the area and what we need to do to clean up the area. And we sat there in disbelief and looking, and I said, I think what we need to do is step up because what you guys consider a cleanup is not going to happen because we're here and we're here to stay. I think that we have to, as leaders within our community, put ourselves in a place and space to be able to be trained to adequately deal with those within our community. And by us coming together and doing that, we will then be able to strengthen the churches. Our educational system is lacking because they were ill-equipped. I think that we grew too fast. And in our growing too fast, we were ill-equipped to deal with the issues and the trauma that have impacted our city. And so if we can welcome those who have been previously incarcerated back in and help them find employment, then they won't fall back into the same places and spaces. And we can then turn around and train our families who have been just as impacted how to survive and thrive through our resources. The same resources that Alameda County is thriving in is where we're lacking in Contra Costa County. I think that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel's already rolling. We just have to be able to be willing to step up and jump in the car and allow others to come in and go for the ride so they too can see that there is hope for them in a new community, that it's more than just a big house. It's more than just a big schools, but it has to be better, or these same big houses can be torn down and our school system can be torn down. And so, yes, that is a loaded question. And I think that what it takes is all of us having the conversations, the hard conversations that we're having right now to make an equitable difference.
Thank you. Those are my questions. Chantel and Damon, I appreciate both of you for your presentation and being open and direct in your responses. It's refreshing to hear philosophically how you're moving forward with this work and looking forward to what will be done here in Contra Costa County.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. Well, two. One, does Convergence have a social media presence at all? Because I know
Converge?
we've discussed, because we've discussed younger people involved, and they're all, social. That's their social media. So, do they have a social media presence?
Yeah,
at all?
Converge does, and so does World Impact. Worldimpact.org, converge.org. Converge is they're two different entities. Okay, World Impact, we focus a lot on the urban context, meaning urban does not mean black or brown. Urban means density and diversity. You feel me? All right. So Converge, they focus on some urban, but you have a lot of rural churches and suburban churches within that context. Converge focus a lot on the equipping of local leaders and pastors doing church activity, right? Church Sunday morning stuff, right? World Impact focuses on Monday through Saturday, on creating healthy. We focus more so on creating healthy communities and healthy families, and to bring a holistic type of Christian development concept to churches and also nonprofits and folks who are doing the work. If that makes sense. So both of them are important to us, because now we're in this. I consider these East County to be the suburbs to me. You're dealing with inner city issues, right? From East Oakland, West Oakland, the Crest, or whatever, the Bayview. They're migrating here to the suburbs. So now you have what they call urban problems within suburbia. As my wife mentioned, we were ill-equipped to handle that type of migrated trauma, right? That's coming to our area here, whether it's East County or even West County. I believe overall, Alameda County, Contra Costa County, Solano County, Frisco County, Santa Clara County, all of them don't have we're limited in our resources, and our best resource is people, our people who are equipped and people who have a heart to serve the people, not for profit, which is why we're passionate about what we do.
The other thing is, so Genesis is in Antioch, which is sort of East County. Do you have a partner or a group that's in West County that that could partner with you? Are you aware of any churches?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yes, ma'am. Yeah. So in fact, we've hosted a few workshops. One of them called Inside the Urban Church. The Barna Group did a study on the urban church. First time they ever done it before. They spent thousands of dollars. Did a study on the urban church, and the president, CEO of World Impact, had a chance to come out, and 132 leaders, church leaders, and also community advocates rallied around there in Richmond, a neighborhood community church, in March. And we've been meeting just about every month thereafter. So there is there's something going on. So I'm excited about it.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nicole, did you have something?
Nope, I'm just here to run the meeting. I'm actually proud of you two. You guys are doing great. You don't need me. I love the way you all work, but no, I don't have anything. I was taking notes, and it was pretty much really for you two to be able to do exactly what you just did. So I really love the conversation, but I don't have anything to add. I will look forward to all of your great work and report out to the full cap. So no. Anything you all want to add, or?
No, we're good. I mean, I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to share our vision, because many times when people think Genesis Church, you think, okay, church. No, it's not about church. It is about church. We have church. We have a thriving church, but we really pride ourselves on what we do outside of the four walls. Outside of the four walls, because you have to have an impact for your community. I think that I always say you have to catch the fish before you clean them, right? So I think that it's important that you go out and you really love people. We don't lead with our Bibles, we lead with our hearts. And so we don't push, I just want to be really clear, we don't push biblical values on anyone. But what we do is we operate in them, and we walk in them, and we love in them, so that they can see. And if they have a curiosity, then there's an opportunity to share. But I think that by us leading with our hearts, we can be much more effective within our communities if we walk in the values that we have and not compromise them for the purposes of fitting in. So we're not about fitting in, but we understand that the people that we were designed to create, to serve, and created to serve, will be drawn to us. And we believe the same thing when it comes to our relationships and organizations.
Thank you so much. And again, I would like to thank you for coming today to present and share this information, and also to the other members that you brought with you. I do appreciate, you can see the love and the care that went into this, and really excited to hear about what you and your husband and the rest of the church is doing. I knew a little bit, but I didn't have an idea of all that was added to this. So not even made me more excited to just learn more about the passion that you all have and what you bring to the communities. It's amazing. So I appreciate you all coming. I want to make sure that the committee members, if they have any other questions, or anyone in the room or on Zoom have any questions before we move on in reference to next steps. So Mark or Brenda, is there anything else that you both would like to add?
I'm good. Thank you, Nicole.
Okay.
Good.
Any questions from anyone in any of our guests in the room?
I just, Yolanda, I just have a comment. I too didn't know, you guys did a bunch of work, Chantel. It was great meeting with you. I love working with you, and I can't wait to see it all. So thank you.
Yeah, I love working with you too.
I'm so
Thank you.
excited that the clients are doing well. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, they're doing well. Thank you. Thank you
Any
for the question.
comments? Any comments on Zoom? Any questions from anyone on Zoom? All right, seeing none. So committee members, next step. So I mean, Mark, I kind of heard you all, so we can get Garyana to kind of jot those down of some amazing things that you all want to do. So I'm assuming that you guys will follow up with Chantel and Mr. Owens in reference to the other items that you all are working on within the committee.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
Thank you again. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, so we will move on. I am watching the clock for you all. Our next agenda item is to discuss and review CAB's community outreach PowerPoint presentation. So Garyana did include the presentation in here. It's on attachment 4. Starts at page 26 all the way through 44. So I'm not sure if you all had a chance to kind of look at it ahead of time. If not, we could take a few moments to do so and then open up for you all to have a discussion on changes that you want to make. And then keep in mind, you don't have to make them all today. So if it's something that you want to work on and be able to come back to, we definitely can. But have that, at least wanted to have it here. Because I know Brenda was one of the items that we wanted to talk about at our last meeting. So we can look at what's in this presentation.
PowerPoint, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if you look at page 11 of the PowerPoint, I guess it's page 41 of our handout. And it said request the 5% COLA increases. I'm not quite sure, what was that pertaining to?
That was one of our recommendations that we moved forward with. It was in reference to the CBO. So that was a recommendation to request for a 5% COLA increase in the salaries.
On the salaries, okay.
So this particular slide focused on our recommendations.
Okay.
So this slide would definitely be adjusted based on what the recommendations are going forward. So that was our recommendations from the previous year. Those were 3 rain months: the request of 5% COLA, CAB 6% policy recommendations, and spending down the AB 109 access funds.
Okay.
So comment about that slide. I think that if the purpose of this PowerPoint is for us to have, you know, basically a PowerPoint that can be shared at any time, I think that we should consider removing this slide. And I think the rest of the presentation is fine and suitable and could be used at any time. I mean, we could always, whoever is making a presentation, you know, during a presentation, talk about, you know, some recommendations that have been made or will be made. But I think that for the sake of updating this PowerPoint, eliminating this slide, I think would make it to where we had a PowerPoint that could be used at any time.
Okay.
Yeah. Who are we presenting this to besides?
So that's So that's the thing. So my recommendation would be for, and this is just one of my recommendations. This is just my feedback because I'm just going to be here for support. So I definitely want you two to feel as though you can adjust this how you will. This was just supposed to have been a presentation in reference to outreach. I wasn't there when they put it together. And as I looked at this, I had a few questions as well as was the audience, because depending on who you're talking about, my opinion is this wouldn't be for everybody. So we're just doing a presentation to outreach to, and again, you don't have to go on my feedback, but when I read this, it's like, who am I presenting this to? Because if I'm trying to get someone to sign up for CAB or bring some attention to CAB, do you guys want to go over all of that? Or is there something to more simplify it to catch their attention? So I think it's, that's when I would kind of lean on you two to say, okay, yes, this is what they put together, but you don't have to keep that. This whole thing can be redone. So we need to have some kind of outreach presentation. Do we want to keep this, or do we want to use this as a template and kind of start over with something more simplified? What would you two prefer to do? Because it's really going to depend on who you're talking to, right?
It depends on the audience.
Correct.
Because that's what threw me. It's like, what audience are we trying to get with this? You know, was it? I'm not even sure. Why do we have this presentation? I remember when they did it, okay, and I looked at this and I said, okay, so we've established an ambassador guide. We have that already. We provide online promotional, you know, so I need to know who's the audience, and then that way we could tailor it to the PowerPoint presentation. Do you see what I'm saying? That's
So
where I'm
this,
confused.
so this
Go ahead.
goes back to, so I'm gonna answer it in a complicated way because I know it's gonna sound complicated. You guys have this. So what I'm saying to you guys is this is what was written, but now you get to redo the whole drawing board. You can decide who the audience is. So the key things is what I was really excited about was what you and Mark talked about the last meeting. You had some great ideas about probation, how to get out there to the community. So you're starting to now define your audience. The whole goal is we want to make sure that we can make a footprint within the community so they can know who CAB is, because no one knows, right? So it was to initially get information out there to get more people to sign up. And also, for example, like we just talked about faith-based and just getting kind of like what Mark talked about earlier, is who is probation talking to? Who are they communicating with? So just really getting out there. So I think there's going to be several different audiences that we're going to be talking about. And just my personal opinion, I don't feel like the presentation is for that. This seems more something like, I don't know, we would have used at the ambassador talking to someone. So I think,
Retreat maybe?
yeah, so I
I'm like,
think number one is you had a great question. I think it's identifying your audience. Who do you guys want to reach out to, because you both had some great ideas at the last meeting, and then based on that, either using this as like just it has information there, but coming up with a different presentation that you all would like, and then present that to us at full cap, because we don't have to keep this one.
Okay, let's scratch it.
yeah, we're like, we're done with this because it's not really, it's not conducive to whatever it is we're trying to accomplish at this
Correct.
particular point. It was good for a beginning step, okay? And it's like,
Right.
but now I'm looking at this and I'm serious. I'm like, okay, who are we talking to?
Yeah.
Why are we saying all this if we know? So if this is just to get people interested in CAB, then we would go at it, we'd use it as a different, you know, format. But like
what
I said,
go ahead,
let me
I'm
add-
sorry.
okay, one thing is that until I know who my audience is, I can't create a PowerPoint presentation. If I'm just doing it to like the supervisors, okay, that's a whole different thing. Okay, if I'm doing it to get people interested in CAB, this would not be the tool that I would use. That's what I'm saying. Okay, but I don't want to throw out all the work that they've done, you know, to say, okay, if this was good then, I don't think it's appropriate now.
Right. I think that this can certainly be something that is
Yeah.
put to the side, because there may be a time and place to use something that's like this,
Okay.
but still update the slides. But I think that we need something that is simplified, straight to the point.
Yes.
It says what the CAB is about and what we want to do, and that we
Yeah.
want people to participate.
Like, you know how we did the flyer, how we revamped the flyer, made it much more conducive to the audience. And that's the thing, is like, I gotta know my audience,
Yeah.
and then I can proceed. You know, because I looked at like the context, this is wrong. This
Yeah.
whole thing is, I looked at it like, no, you know, I don't know any of these people. So for right now, I'm with Marcus. Can we just put this to the side and, you know, concentrate on other things? I was just thinking, if this if this were for the mini summit that we're, you know, tabling for now, it might work. You see what I'm saying? Because
No,
then
no.
you have a broader group,
Mhm.
and this would make sense. We clean it up, you know, but other than that, no.
And I actually definitely agree with you all, and I want to leave you feeling today to where we're not getting rid of what the previous members did, but I want to give you guys a blank canvas, right? I want to be able to have you guys look at your work plan that we did, and as we discussed, you change it to, you have new members now. Brenda, you've been there, Mark is there, you're going to have new members. Now really look at what was left, the work that needs to be done that hasn't been done yet, and how can we take what was previously made and then create, if new stuff needs to be created, that's fine, but I think we need to go back to exactly what you all said. There's some missing pieces, right? In reference to identifying who are we going to be talking to, what is our end goal when we say outreach, who is our outreach is going to be, and that can be something if you like to also have that discussion at the full board. But I would love for you to kind of think about that too, from your perspective on the audience. And the feedback I can give you from the full board of it, initially it was getting people to come in, our youth as well, touching in our youth, and how to get more within the community and faith-based. Those were the few things that I knew that was left off when Reverend was here, but also add more once you have that discussion. And then I'll just be looking for you all to kind of bring that back so we could talk about it as the full board. So I'm really want to see what have you guys know you're walking away with information that's there, but you have a blank canvas to kind of not rebuild, but kind of a nice way to say, yeah.
No, we can restructure. We can
Yes, ma'am.
restructure it. In fact, we might have more than one PowerPoint. You know,
Yeah.
they have a
Correct.
PowerPoint for this and a PowerPoint for that. I mean, so
Yeah, this is good. This is good background.
you know, material for us. So I'm happy with that. I can work with that. But like Marcus said, I think we can push this to the side right now. We're
Okay.
not going to forget it, okay? And we could keep, you know, going back to it. But until we get that straightened out, I think we should, you know. What else can I say? I don't know.
No, I agree. And I was going to when I was going to add when we get to the end of it for like next steps, like your work plan, that, you know, having that at like your just recommendation to you all to have that included at your next meetings, and to you get it all fished out on what you want to do, because that's step one, is going back through that, the ideas you all had about changing the verbiage. And once you have that all identified, then you will be able to go into that next step you just mentioned about who is my audience. Okay, now that we know what I got to create. So it's taking that, it's looking at the overall objective and goals of the OCEC and kind of tailoring it to what we know what CAB wants to do. And we'll talk about that at our next full board of what's the vision going forward with full CAB that I kind of talked to you all, you know, when I checked the one-on-one. So I think tabling it is great. I just wanted to have it there, and I definitely agree with you both, because I had the same response when I looked at it. I wasn't sure exactly what it was great, but I wasn't sure exactly what it was, who that audience and what it was going to. So we will table that for further discussion later down the line.
And you mentioned our work plan. I've been looking at the work plan. I think we did discuss it at our last meeting, right? And there was a lot of things.
And I meant to add it in here for you, and I forgot for the agenda plan. That was my fault. I apologize. When we do the agenda planning, and Mark, just give you a heads up, we do agenda planning once on a Monday, and Garyana send that out to you when we actually talk about the agenda. So she'll most likely add you onto that, and we structure the agendas before the call. So I forgot to add that on there, but I do, my recommendation to you all, and you guys can discuss that on your own and change it if you like, but to probably have that work plan on your agendas until you get all this stuff fine tuned out.
Okay.
Are we okay to move forward?
Yeah.
So for number 7, I recommend, this was supposed to be on the agenda because the last time we talked, of course, we were hoping that Ozzy was going to be back. I recommend to put a pause on this. Any new things I had recommended, we're not going to do it. We're just going to pause them and focus on, like we just said, identifying what CAB has done, what we need to do, and how to move forward. And so in reference to the social media, that was a new item that was added that, I mean, if you guys would like to take a stab into it, that's great. So that's why it's there. But it is something that maybe just like with the PowerPoint, if you want to put on hold, that's fine. But I'll leave that up to you all to make that decision. And the whole goal around that was trying to figure out how to share information about CAP via social media. There was some discussion at full board about the process that's already there within ORJ, or maybe using some of our current partners to be able to share that information. I just feel like it's something new, and we need to focus on kind of things that we just talked about right now in reference to working on the work plan and things of that nature. But if you guys want to take a stab at it, that's fine. So how do you all feel?
Something that Auntie had brought up, I don't
Yes.
recall, okay, I'm like, wait a minute. I know she was really hot for that, and we weren't clear on,
Correct.
What did you want for social media and what could we put out there? That was okay. So we weren't even clear. So I was waiting for her to come back and give us like, okay, give us a guideline. What exactly do you think we can do instead of just throwing it to us? Because we may not be, what she thought we were going to do. But now you're saying it's up to us if we want to go that route.
Well, I didn't want to make I'm giving you guys an option. I didn't want to just, my opinion, I was going to just anything that was new that we talked about with Ozzy in reference to the social media, the April 19 Summit. I was going to put a pause on all of that so that we can all as a committee, because we have new members as well, is focus on all this work we've done, what has been done, what needs to be done, and what is the next step. And then we can pin these items such as social media and the summit for the end of the year and talk about, do we want to go into the next year? Because we really need to stop for a second and look at what we have on our plate now and get that situated. So I didn't want to just, since this is the committee, I wanted to be able to bring it to you all and say, do you guys still want to take a stab at it? Or are you guys in agreement and what I'm recommending, putting a pause on it?
I'm good with putting a pause on it. I think in the interim, we still have a lot of vacancies and we should follow up with ORJ to see if they can help us get that information out by utilizing any access they have to social media to post our flyer and share our flyer with other partner agencies in the county.
They have a newsletter that comes out, she sends us, an email. So, and that has a lot of good stuff in it. So, I think for right now, that's all the social media that we can handle.
Okay. And just and where we had left off, Brenda, and I agree with you both, where we had left off is exactly what Mark just said. That was identified through RJ, that they have the social media tools. And then the question was around our current providers with the newsletter and maybe utilizing them. And then we kind of stopped because Ozzy was out. So I agree with you all to pin it. I would rather see you all focus on rebuilding and setting up the OCEC in the manner that you all, and then if it's something later on that you're like, we need this, then bring it back in that we need it. Okay.
That sounds good.
All right. And then the last one I should have said earlier is not on there. It goes back to the tabling on July 27th. Brenda, are you still okay with doing that? 26.
I can say 27th. No, 26. Yeah, I move stuff around, so I'll be there.
Okay. And Tiffany,
you're gonna give me some information.
Yes, I'm going to. I think I have your email. I believe I emailed you before because we've done ambassador meetings before. Let me see if I have Brenda.
What, 10 to 3?
From 10 to 3. Yes, I'm gonna send you the invite right now, and then Tiffany wants us there at 9:30. So Mark, to kind of bring you up to speed, before Ozzy left, she had got us the RSC, the Rent Success Center, does a welcome home event in West County where they allow the CBOs and partners to table. Probation is there as well, and Ozzy had a good idea for the CAB to have a table, and it'll be great for us to do outreach. So I did confirm with RSC that we did have a table, and so I thought it would be a good idea to have someone from OCEC there because outreach. And so when I did my phone calls on Friday, Brenda was willing to table, and I'll be there with you all. So we're going to have flyers, and then we're going to have like an inquiry sign-in sheet for those that sorry, not inquiry, an interest sign-in sheet for those that may be interested in signing up for CAB or learning more about CAB. That way that can be brought back to you all, and you'll have a list of people, of potential people that may want to sign up for CAB.
Okay.
Where RSC is, right?
The Reentry Success Center, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We're having it there. Are we inside their building? Or are we on the street? What do you?
It's outside. So I've been to one. They have,
Okay.
it's really nice. They have, it's at their location, but they set up outside the building. It's really big. And
Oh,
so
okay.
all the partners are set up. They have music, they have food, they have raffle. It's a really big event. They
Okay.
block off the whole street so no one can drive up and down
Wow.
the street.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. July
And
26th. You said. Got it.
and I would say after we do this one, Brenda, bring back that information to Mark. And if it's something that we want to continue, maybe add it as a
Okay.
talking item, because we weren't really prepared. Garyana and them are going to go out and buy a tablecloth, but we don't have anything like that. We've never tabled. So is that something that we want to continue to do as a committee, table certain events to do outreach? That's something to notate, you know, if it is, then we may want to talk about what that looks like.
Right. Okay. All right.
All right. The last item on the agenda is next steps. I lost my Garyana.
All right, I think that's me. I'm up. For next steps, we didn't discuss this, but since the general meeting didn't meet to discuss the ambassador's guide, on your next agenda is to finalize ambassador's assignments. So just keep in mind at the next meeting, you're probably also going to review what the ambassador's guide is. So your next meeting, you can finalize the ambassador's assignments. Another next step was identify the audience for your outreach presentations, and then construct a simplified and direct outreach presentation. And then I'm going to add the work plan to the agenda as a standing item.
Correct.
Did I miss anything, y'all?
I'm gonna turn it over to the committee members. This y'all meeting. I'm just gonna be a standby or next time. So is there anything else that you all would like on your agenda for next steps?
That we've got to do the ambassador guide assignments, right? Are we going to be at full capacity by then? Because don't we
You will
start like in August?
You won't have a full board. You won't have 12 members. You'll have 8. So it is going to be a lot tricky to like assign folks so everybody can meet.
I would probably recommend to kind of go ahead, Garyana. Sorry.
No, that's all I had to say.
I'd probably recommend to do like after you look through it, I'm gonna take one of Crawford's things I've had for us as seniors that's been here for a very long time. He gave us a little bit more because it was an uneven number. And so and then assigning, yes, assigning. And for us that were here before longer, we also did that kind of help those that were more new. I think we have more new. Then I don't know. So as we assign it, I mean, if we feel so, Gary, let me ask you this: if individuals feel like, because I'm more senior, I've been here longer than everybody, and if they and Brenda's been here with me, but if folks feel like they're unclear on how to do this, and I want to give guidance, is that something that can be done as a meeting, or is it better for me to do like more of a one-on-one with individuals? Like, how can that do that with?
I think you're okay to do like one-on-one coaching, but it can also be like further fleshed out in the meetings if that's what the committee decides.
Okay.
With full cap is what we're discussing, or with OCEC?
Well, you first discuss with OCE. Go ahead. I'm gonna
No. Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, I think you can first discuss with OCEC and then bring it to the full cap so they're aware of like this is coming up and then these are the assignments. But yeah, I think all is possible. It's just how does OCEC want to go about this process? And then that's when you report back to the full cap.
Yeah, Garyana, I know that we talked about last time, is there a meeting scheduled for the CCP coming up in the next few months?
It's cancel that meeting. They had a meeting September.
I think they have a tentative meeting scheduled in September, but it's no like location, time, or like date. But I think they have a tentative one planned for September.
Okay. And that's when we take our recommendations. So that's when we take our recommendations to CAB takes the recommendation. We gave it to OCEC, gave it to CAB, and then CAB takes it to CCP, correct?
What recommendations? The recommendations of the applicants. Yes, that's where the applicants will be finally approved to join the full body.
What day is that?
I think they have a tentative meeting scheduled for in September, but there's no like official time or date yet. But I can keep you guys updated.
Okay.
All right. Got it.
All right, any other items? Are we good to go with next steps?
Nope, we're good to adjourn if you guys are ready.
Okay, so we will go ahead and adjourn to our next subcommittee meeting on August 20th at 11 o'clock. We're ending at 12:34. And I would like to thank again Genesis Church and the members and everyone that came today with their presentation. We greatly appreciate it. And our meeting is adjourned. See you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.